Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on Google's Gemini. We're going way beyond just asking simple questions and getting simple answers. I'm going to show you how to turn this thing into your personal co-pilot for research, for creativity, and yeah, for getting a ton of work done. And this quote right here, it absolutely nails it. See, if you're just using Gemini for quick facts, you are missing out on the real magic, the features that are hiding just beneath the surface. So in this explainer, we are going to fix that. So let's start with the fundamental problem. The way most people talk to AI is, well, pretty basic. And the thing is, Gemini is built on a totally different level than what you're probably used to. This is the loop, right? You ask something, it answers, and that's kind of the end of it. But sticking to that simple back and forth means you're leaving a massive amount of efficiency on the table. We're talking about literally hours of your time every single week that you could be getting back. To really unlock what Gemini can do, you first have to understand what makes it tick under the hood. It has a few core superpowers that completely change the game. The first superpower has this big, fancy name, multimodality. But the concept is actually super simple and really important. It just means Gemini doesn't only understand words. It can look at images, watch videos, listen to audio, and read computer code, all at the same time. This is the foundation for pretty much all the cool stuff we're about to get into. The second key is knowing it has different levels of thinking. As you can see, you've got fast mode, which is great for quick, simple stuff. But the real magic, that happens when you flip it into thinking mode. It takes a few extra seconds, sure, but that's because it's actually planning and reasoning through the problem, which gives you a way, way higher quality answer. And this is a perfect example of what that means. We threw a complicated marketing problem at it. 3 different strategies, different budgets, the whole deal. Instead of just giving a generic guess, it broke the whole thing down, calculated the potential return on investment for each option, and gave a final recommendation based on actual logic. That's thinking mode for you. And finally, this number is it's wild. Gemini can have a context window of up to 2 million tokens. So what on earth does that mean in plain English? It means you can feed it something like 1,500 pages of text. Think an entire epic novel or hundreds of work documents, and it will remember every single detail within that one conversation. Okay, now that we know its secret weapons, let's see how they all work together. We're going to look at how you can turn Gemini into the ultimate research assistant that does all the boring, tedious work for you. Here's a classic real-world headache. You've got a messy piece of information, in this case a blurry photo of a crumpled-up receipt. Trying to get the data off of this by hand, it would be a total pain. But look at this. You just upload that same messy picture and tell Gemini to pull out the key information. And boom. In seconds, it reads everything, even the blurry text and the tiny print, and neatly organizes it all into a perfect, clean table. That's its multimodality in action, turning a visual mess into useful data. And it's not just about pulling text from a photo. You can upload a screenshot of a website and ask for design feedback. And these aren't just generic comments either. Gemini gives you specific professional-level critiques, like, your navigation is unclear, or this intro is way too heavy on the text, actually helping you make your site better. Okay, now for one of its most powerful features, deep research. This is not just a simple web search. You give it a research question, and Gemini basically acts like a junior researcher. It goes out on its own, reads dozens of academic papers and articles, figures out what it all means, and then writes you a full report complete with citations. And it does the same thing for video. So instead of you having to spend half an hour watching a competitor's product demo, you can just paste the YouTube link into Gemini. It will watch the whole thing and give you a categorized, time-stamped breakdown of every key point. This is an unbelievable time saver for things like competitive analysis or just learning something new. So Gemini is obviously an amazing analyst, but it's also a powerhouse creator. Let's switch gears and look at the built-in tools that can basically turn you into a one-person creative studio. First up, generating images. Using Google's own image model, Gemini can create incredibly realistic photos and graphics right there in the chat window. You can describe exactly what you need for a presentation or a social media post, and it'll spit out a professional quality visual in just a few seconds. And it goes beyond visuals. It can also create audio. Say you have a script for a training video. You can pop it into the audio tool in Google AI Studio, and it will generate a really natural-sounding, professional voiceover. The quality is honestly leagues beyond those old robotic text-to-speech tools. Now, this is where it gets really exciting. Using a new tool from Google, you can actually animate static images. You upload a photo, describe the kind of movement you want, like a slow, subtle zoom or a shift in the lighting, and it generates a high-quality cinematic video loop. Most people don't even know this is possible yet. Okay, we've seen analysis and we've seen creation. Now let's bring it all home and look at how these features combine to give you a massive 10x boost to your daily productivity. So here's the crucial part. This all connects directly to your work. Even on the free plan, you can link Gemini up with your Google apps. That lets it search across your emails, your documents, your calendar events, saving you from constantly jumping between tabs and manually searching for things. And remember, that massive 1,500-page context window we talked about, here's how you actually use it. You can upload 10 different meeting notes at the same time and just ask it, find every single time someone mentioned budget concerns. A task that would take a person hours of mind-numbing work is just done in seconds. And that's the jump, you see? By understanding these core features, you've gone from someone who just asks basic questions to a true power user who can automate entire workflows. You're now set up to analyze, create, and produce at a speed that just wasn't possible before. The tool is no longer just a chatbot, it's a real co-pilot, ready to handle your most time-consuming tasks. So the only question left is, what are you going to do with all the hours you're about to get back?